Doing LinkedIn Live every morning this week, talking about how to get your dream job. And so today's Tuesday, and we're talking about the secret. There's a big secret in this process of getting your job, your dream job, and that's what we're talking about today. We'll be on here for maybe 20 minutes. I'm having a little COVID relapse, so I don't feel 100%, but we will see how we do. And feel free to leave comments and just say hi or make a comment, share a question or a thought. Um, Yesterday we talked about the fact that when you go to get your dream job, it's very, very important to have a career direction in mind, to have a job title or a small family of job titles in mind for your job search, because without that, you can't brand yourself to make an impression, to get in front of recruiters or hiring managers with a compelling message. So, narrowing down your job search and having a specific job search direction, huge, huge first step in your dream job search. Because a lot of us say, I can do all kinds of stuff, and that's not compelling, won't get anybody's attention, and won't be possible for you then to focus on the buyer, if you will, who your hiring manager, when you don't even know who that hiring manager might be by job title. So, yesterday's tip or advice was to get real specific about the kind of job you want. So, then following up on that, the real gold in that, the real benefit is the secret I'm sharing today. And that is that when you do zero in on a specific job title or family of closely related job titles, then you can do something really powerful in your branding, in your resume, and your LinkedIn profile. And that is, you can get in the head of, take the perspective of your hiring manager. You can take the perspective of your hiring manager. What does it mean? When you know someone's title, you can imagine, what if I were them? What if I were this manager managing a research and development team, or a product development team, or a product management team, or a finance team, or a human resources team, or whatever? What kinds of issues would I be likely to face? And what kinds of challenges would I run into on the job? And then, if I, coming back to myself as the job hunter, as the job seeker, the job candidate, can have those issues or challenges, we call them pain points, in mind, that I can brand myself talking knowledgeably about the issues my hiring manager is likely to face. And if in my past, as is often, if not nearly always the case, I have dealt with some of those challenges before, then I can talk about that in my resume as well. The big mistake that people make as job hunters is they go too broad in their branding, and they list, when they talk about their past jobs, their tasks and duties. Don't do that. Anybody in the job would have had the exact same tasks and duties. Don't list the tasks and duties you were responsible for. We know. We know what these jobs entail. Tell us what you did instead. Tell us what you left in your wake. In your wake, like a boat going through the water leaves a wake, right? A visible wake behind the boat. That's what you're going to do. You're going to tell us what you made better at each job that you've held. And that is going to power up your resume or CV like nothing else, to make it okay. This person is not saying I have skills unproven, untested. They're saying, here's when the moment called for it. Here's what I did. I took my skills down off the shelf and I used them to good effect. They're going to tell you right in the resume what they got done. That's what you use your resume space for. That space on the page. You're going to tell little stories. Going to get more into that when I'm back on LinkedIn Live tomorrow, Thursday, and talk about telling stories. Not just saying, here's the job I held, Here's when I was there, and here were the tasks and duties I was responsible for. Literally anyone in the same job would have had the same tasks and duties. So that is not helpful information. You want to tell the hiring manager what I left behind me, what I got done, and why it mattered in that instance, right? Why it was a good thing that I was there to do what I did that day or that week or that month at work. Going to tell stories in your resume. You're right. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I said Thursday. That's COVID. Ugh, still sick. Hope you don't get this new COVID. It's not the best. All right. So the secret is that when you zero in more than most job candidates do on your target job, on your target role, and the kinds of employers that you especially want to work for, then you can do a lot more and push a lot more useful, relevant information to your hiring manager and to recruiters through your LinkedIn profile and through your resume because you know who you're talking to. The first thing that people are taught who do communications as a job, journalists and marketers, marketing communication people, speech writers, all of that is know your audience. Know your audience. And as a job hunter, you have to know your audience. You can't say, I'm just out here. Somebody, please bring me in for an interview. It's not going to happen. Got to zero in on your audience. You got to know who that target hiring manager is by title. And once you know that, you can kind of spin around, take their perspective and say, from this person's perspective, let's say they are a manager of strategy. They're a manager of corporate strategy. So they're looking at a lot of financial data. They're looking at what is the best path for this organization going forward. Do we create some partnerships with distributors abroad? Do we do joint ventures? Do we get bought? Do we buy other companies? What is our best path forward? And what are the problems that we're likely to face and the obstacles we're likely to face given every one of the possible paths? Now, if you've been doing strategy work and mergers and acquisitions and corporate development and all that kind of stuff, then you know a lot about this. So you're not just going to use your resume to say, I did this and I did that, and here were the places I worked, and here were the titles that tell us what you did in the job. And you say, at this role, I determined through analysis and a consultative approach with my senior leaders, right? I recommended and championed this course of action, and here's what happened, and we prospered, and here's why it was a good idea. Liz, you helped me get an awesome job 10 years ago after early retirement from telecom. Karen, I'm so glad to hear it. Fantastic. Good for you. And look at early retirement. And here you are 10 years later, rocking and rolling. That is so beautiful. Wonderful. Let's see. Hi from South Derbyshire, UK. Wonderful. Lisa Ann, so glad you are here. You showed me how to tell my story. Okay, Karen, thank you for saying that because I'm saying the same thing again 10 years later to a bunch of folks. You got to tell your story. You've got to bring your story out in a powerful way. And unfortunately, the way that most of us, certainly the way that I was taught to job hunt, it's no good anymore. It doesn't work. This formal language, right? Motivated, self-starter. No one cares about my assessment of myself. They don't know me. And they want to know, what'd you do? Just tell me on the page. What'd you do? Where have you been? What have you done? Thank you very much. Boom. Bringing more of yourself out onto the page. Now, this is not the traditional approach, but so what? A lot of traditional things we have realized don't work, and they're falling by the wayside. Falling by the wayside. I have a LinkedIn poll out. I just put out a poll this morning on business attire. I got no problem with business attire. I love dressing up. I'll dress up at the drop of a hat. I can't wait for Halloween to come. I'll be sitting out here handing out candy to the children, and I'm sure I'll have some kind of get up on, right? I love dressing up. Who doesn't? But Is business attire, the old school, the suit, the tie, the whole thing, equivalent for women? Is that still, I don't know. I'm just asking, does it make a difference? But in this poll today, I asked why? Why do we feel, or why were we taught, or why is there a widespread belief that this formal attire, which is expensive and costs money to dry clean, is considered more professional? And I'm curious why. The two choices are it just is, and you should respect that. And then the other choice in the poll is old school thinking. So it's going to be interesting to see what the poll results show us. A lot of things in the world are changing. And one of the big things that's changing is how to get a good job. It's changing. It's not used to be you send out a whole bunch of resumes and undoubtedly just the law of numbers, someone's going to offer you a good job. It's not like that anymore. I remember those days, but those days are long gone. And now we have to brand ourselves like a marketer. We have to be very specific about what we want. And then we can take the perspective of the hiring manager, that is your possible next boss, and we can see the world through their eyes. And that is everything. Think about marketers. They're launching a new type of peanut butter or a new automobile or a new vacation cruise. They're going to say, who is the buyer for this? Is there a buyer? Unless we can identify that there is a buyer for this, we have to change it up because the whole point is for this thing to get sold. One of my long distance mentors. Oh, thank you so much for saying that. Thank you for always being energizing, practical, and fun trailblazer. I really appreciate that so much. So thank you for your comment and thanks for being here. Focus on transferable skills. All right. So the thing about transferable skills is you have them, right? You have them. We are going to brand you not by listing skills. That would be scary. I have, you know, administrative skills. I have organizational skills. No one knows what that means. You're going to tell us in context what it means to you, right? You're going to tell us how you did a thing. So in your resume, when you say, I worked at AT&T, big phone company, I was a team lead in customer service dealing with, um, you know, certain customers, corporate customers. And here's what I left in my wake. Here's what I did. Now you're going to show those transferable skills rather than talk about them. Show, not tell, right? Show and tell. Just like in school, you're going to get up there and you're going to show, you're going to do a tap dance or play the trombone. You're going to say, in my boss's absence, I untangled a thorny billing issue for a major company, a major client, and saved his $400,000 a year account. That's very short. In my boss's absence, I untangled a thorny billing issue, so far 10 words, for a major customer, 14, and saved his 400K per year, that's all one word, account. 19 words that fits very nicely after a bullet, and it's got a period at the end because it's a sentence. It's not a sentence fragment like we were taught to write on a resume. Why? Governmental, sort of bureaucratic, military sentence fragments. No, we don't talk like that. I'm not talking in sentence fragments right now, other than possible effects of COVID. I'm using complete sentences, and so will you, because that's how we bring more heft and more life and more energy across on the page. So true. Jacques, even the definition of a good job has remarkably shifted. We see more weightage to value propositions. Yeah. What's a good job? It's very personal, isn't it? What is a good job to me and good job to you could be very different. Imposter syndrome required me some self-work because I realized I was lacking confidence. But let's see what Liz said. Yeah, imposter syndrome, I mean, is fear of something new. And I have to say something about imposter syndrome. Thanks for that comment, Karen. We're really taught to feel afraid in new situations, to feel less than, to not feel our power. So, feeling your power at any given moment, right now in this LinkedIn Live, or when you get out of bed in the morning, or when you go on a job interview, or when you go to work and you're making a presentation, feeling your power is an act of courage. Let me say that again. Feeling your power is an act of courage, of bravery, because in many, many ways, we are taught not to feel our power. I don't know about you, but when I was a little kid, I'm older than you, undoubtedly. But when I was a little kid, I was constantly told to sit down and shut up and be quiet and stop talking and respect your elders, especially in school. And the idea was you're nothing. You're nothing. And that was told to us as a group and then very often, unfortunately, one on one too. Yeah, you're nothing. You're nothing, kid. And so growing out of that, personal growth now, growing out of that and saying, but am I nothing? I don't think am I literally nothing? I think I have something to say. I don't know, but let me test it. Let me try it. Let me at least try to present some of my ideas and see whether they resonate with anyone. It's an act of courage because there are many messages that say, stay in your little box, do what you're told, don't get out of line, don't color outside the lines, right? All of that. And I think it's easier for kids today. Using my own kids as an example, they don't hesitate. They don't hesitate to tell you what they think. But I was told to hesitate a lot and really mostly keep my mouth shut. Okay. So we're talking about this sort of secret, and it's not a secret now. I'm putting it out there on LinkedIn, taking your hiring manager's perspective and treating them like a buyer is if you were launching a product or service and taking their view of the world. Oh, it's very, 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 very powerful because then they feel heard. They feel heard. If that manager looks at a stack of resumes or they look at the screen, just endless resumes that have come in response to a job ad that they posted, and all the resumes do is say, and there's nothing against these job seekers, this is what they were taught. But here's me, here's more about me, here's my degrees, here's my certifications, here's my years of experience, here's this, here's that, me. How's a hiring manager supposed to feel? Does anybody out here get what I'm up against? When I need help, right, at my house or in our business, I kind of want the right person, the person who's going to help us to understand a little bit what I'm going through, don't you? When you call the plumber and you say, well, it looks like my kid stuffed his sock down the tub drain. It seems like it's stuck in there, Do you want the plumber to say, well, who cares about you? Here's me. Here's my business. You want the plumber to say, oh, yeah, that happens all the time. Don't even worry. That's an easy fix. You want them to empathize with you. You want them to see where you are. That's what gives you confidence that they can help you. They say, sock down the tub drain, piece of cake. I can be out there. I can take care of that in 15 minutes, even if I have to get underneath the tub and do whatever, right? But I probably won't have to because I got a device that just goes down there, beep, pulls out the sock. And then you don't let your kid have the socks anywhere near the tub after this, right? Say, all right, I won't. But you want to feel heard. You want to feel that someone understands what you're dealing with, what you're up against, and hiring managers are the same way. They want to know that you get what their issues are. Obviously, someone who's been through it before, who can even just take that mental perspective, is going to be very credible and someone that you're going to want to talk to. You know, that's the change. Just listing your jobs that you've had and the tasks and duties at the job. Anybody, literally anyone, could do that, and you are not anyone. So, welcome everyone from Indonesia, Dubai, Tokyo. So glad to see you here. It's really cool on LinkedIn that we can all show up from everywhere and talk about this stuff. So you are going to write your resume for a specific reader. You don't know them yet, but you know that they manage a specific function. You know that they manage the department that you are most interested in joining, and you want to understand their world. It doesn't have to be a department or a function that you've spent time in already. You don't have to have had this job before. You just have to orient yourself to understanding their life and their obstacles and what triumphs or wins are for them. That's what allows you to take that hiring manager's perspective, see the world through their eyes, and write your resume for them. So for example, you may be changing industries. Absolutely fine. People change industries every day in the working world. It's normal. But what are you going to do with the jargon and the industry specific terms from your past industries? You're going to minimize them or take them out of your resume because unfamiliar jargon is off putting to basically every human on the planet. Like it's when they see I worked on the X15 project and the six certification and we got approval from whatever obscure branch of government, it doesn't mean anything and therefore it's off putting. It says, I don't know what any of that is, doesn't it's not relevant to me. So I think this person might be more interested in this other stuff than they are interested in what I'm doing. And, probably I'll take a pass. They're going to want to talk to a different candidate. You want to remove or minimize jargon from other industries in your resume because it's so off-putting. It's unfamiliar and it's like, what, why are you telling me this? Why would I care about this jargon from an industry that I've never spent time in and I never plan to? It's a problem actually for a lot of returning military service members. And I so far haven't seen a lot from the folks, and I'm sure they do a great job and work really hard, but haven't seen a lot of help offered to returning military service members to translate that military jargon for civilian audiences, which is what they have to do. You have to translate it. You can't just say, I was a person. This is my title, military title, completely unfamiliar to civilian managers. And I worked with this and this and this. I have no idea what any of that means. And so, therefore, it can't possibly be impressive. But what it is kind of like, okay, it sounds cool. Like, that's not my world. Why are you coming to me in my world where I sit here managing a purchasing department or a customer support department or whatever, parts department at an auto dealer? And you're telling me about all this stuff that you got to believe, you got to know I couldn't possibly understand what it even means. So why would it be appealing to me, right? That is our responsibility as communicators. The thing about communication is that the responsibility for effective communication rests with the communicator. In this case, me, I'm talking to you. If what I'm saying is gibberish and you don't understand it, that's on me, not you. If I'm speaking too quickly, because I grew up in the East Coast of the United States where people talk really fast, that's on me. If I am using unfamiliar terms or jargon that you don't understand, that's on me. I should be comprehensible. I should be understandable, even with COVID. It should be possible and easy for you and maybe even fun to listen to me talk. That's on me. So tell me, leave a comment and say, I understand you, Liz, or I don't. Could you slow down? Whatever. Tell me. I'm happy that we have folks tuning in to these LinkedIn live presentations from all over the world. So that tells me that through the ether, through the air, and across oceans and mountains, that I'm reaching you enough for you to want to spend your very, very valuable time here with us than doing any one of the millions of things that you could be doing. Thank you, Amanda. I understand you sing it. I would sing it. I can't say, I would sing. Which I sing. Got any favorite songs? I that's COVID brain. I can't even think of a song. Is this home? Is this where I should learn to be happy? Never dreamed that a home could be dark and cold. I was told every day of my childhood, even when we grow old. Home will be where the heart is. Never were words so true. Is this home? Tell me what show that's from. Disney show. All right, Colleen is into it. Even with the COVID voice. Okay, thank you, Colleen. Do you think that a recommendation, this is Victor, is more important to get the job of your dreams than the organizational culture of the company? I don't think they're two different things. A recommendation is great. It says, I've worked with this person. Presumably, a recommendation comes from someone who is credible to the organization that is considering hiring you. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a very useful recommendation. So if you get that recommendation from a credible person known to the organization, that's huge. But the culture, that's more of, are you going to be happy? Are you going to prosper there? Right? The purpose of communication, this is Clementina, should be to create an understanding and acceptable what? Feels like we're missing a noun there, between the communicator and the communicatee. All right. Love the singing. Bravo. Oh, you're sweet, Amanda. Thank you so much. Next time I'll have my voice back. With luck, I have my voice back. No tellings. COVID is a little bit unpredictable. Okay, so it's on us to write a resume that makes sense to the person who's receiving it. And sometimes, because we're so close to our experience, we don't realize that the recipient has no idea what we're talking about. It happens to me every day. People write to me on LinkedIn or in my email or wherever, on Facebook, on Twitter, and I don't know what they're talking about. Even though I've been on the planet basically since Noah was launching the ark, I don't know this jargon, but they assume that I know. Hey, Liz, I work in a corporation and I work with the SQP and the LJ5, and I'm dealing with this. Yeah, God bless. I have no idea what you're talking about, and I don't have time. Although I love you, I don't have time to go look up what these terms mean. But the bigger problem is, if you're not aware that these terms make no sense to the general public, that's going to really hurt you in your job search. It's going to really hurt you because people don't know what you're talking about. They're going to immediately tune out. Unfamiliar information in general is aversive to most people. They don't like it. What are you talking about? And I don't want to take the time to go research it and figure out what you mean, especially because I don't know you, right? So we need to take the recipient's point of view, the recipient of the communication. We need to take their point of view. And when that's a hiring manager, it's not hard because we know their job title already. We can dig into that and we can say, let's say your target hiring manager is a manager of, pick a function. I'll go with customer support because we all understand that pretty well. What are the 5 biggest issues facing the manager of customer support? Let me just go look. Why not? 5 biggest problems for customer support managers. And Google says understanding customer expectations, customer demanding something you cannot do, handling angry customers, choosing the right channels and tools, and dealing with service outage crisis. That's fantastic. Now I got to get back to my LinkedIn Live. Here we go, Restream. It's great. So you can do that for any title, and you can say, okay. So some of the problems customer service managers have to face are service outages. Of course, that's huge, right? Hold times when people are waiting on the phone, that's a big pain in the neck. Or it's taking too long for the customer service agents to get back to customers when they send an email or they write a message through the web or they're on chat, right? These are problems customer service managers face. Now, if you have had a hand at any point in your career at a service improvement, process improvement effort, and it worked, you're going to talk about that in your resume when you're writing to a customer service manager because that's their problem, that's their life. Good job, Liz, says Emmanuel. Thank you. A question: how do you frame your resume to reflect the position you want, even though your current role isn't related? No, this is exactly it, Emmanuel. For example, as an engineer working in data analytics, looking to getting back into engineering, obviously the recent role is in engineering, and HR might not want to consider. This is a genius question. You're going to frame up your resume, Emmanuel, with a branding statement at the top of the resume, right under your name and contact info. So it says Emmanuel at the top and your last name. And it says your city and state. Then it says your email address and your phone number and your LinkedIn profile. That's all the contact information you need. And it goes at the top of your resume or CV. And then right under that is the big frame. A job title. Your desired job title is looking to getting back into engineering. I got it, but we need to be more specific. Senior software engineer. Whatever it is, decide and put that right front and center. Isn't your most recent job title? Doesn't matter. That's not what you're saying. Later on, further down in the resume, you will explain all your jobs going back in reverse chronological order, starting with your current or most recent job. So you have the chops, obviously, you have the experience. You can get into engineering anytime you want, right? HR or a screener is unlikely to be put off by the fact that your most recent job was in data analytics. It's so close to engineering. We create sometimes the divisions like, oh, it's totally different. No, it's not. No, it's not. Right? You're going to get yourself back into engineering by saying, this is what I want to do. This is who I am. This is who I am going to the party as. And then underneath those words, senior software architect, whatever the title is, senior electrical engineer, whatever it is, you're going to say, I am an electrical engineer focused on whatever, designing, microprocessors, whatever you do, you're going to claim it right there at the top of your resume. That's how you use the space called your summary. You tell us who you are and why this is the right kind of job for you. At Microscientific, I designed the da. I did this. You tell a little story, short. This summary is like 3 sentences long, and they're short sentences. That's it. Then you go back down. Now you're going down to your career history. That's the next section. Most recent job, data analyst. What is it? Data analyst for whoever. Tie it back to engineering. I created models, I did this, I designed algorithm, to support the thing. Tie it back to engineering. You're a good writer. You're a good writer, Emmanuel. You can do this very easily. What you're not doing is mentally, emotionally saying, please let me back in. You're welcome to go back in. You're a genius. You've done the engineering and you see its connection to the business now. That makes you more valuable, not less. This is a change in mindset. This is a change in mindset. I teach 2 things, methodology and mindset. And the mindset is, of course, I can go back. I couldn't go back. What, I forgot everything I knew about engineering? No, it's absurd, right? You're not asking for permission. You need one hiring manager who sees that it's obvious that your more recent experience, while not strictly in the realm of engineering, obviously applies, enhances your value, and you need one. You don't need 1,000. You're not out here, please. You're saying, look, I'm just having conversations to see where there's a good fit and a good match, just like dating. It's just like dating. Been blessed to help job seekers at our library. Good for you, Karen. That is magnificent. Thank you for doing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing that. Fantastic thing you're pointing. Abel, thank you. This is Fahad. Thank you, Fahad, for showing up. All right, we got about 4 minutes here before I have to go back in the recovery zone and get better so I can do this again tomorrow. But I want you to get this piece about mindset. It's not just methodology, although I will teach methodology until the cows come home, as they say. I don't know where the cows went, but this is an English expression that means till the cows come home, means for a really long time. I'll teach methodology. I love it. But mindset is more important. Emmanuel, you feeling your power. I've done all this engineering plus data analytics. I know a lot about engineering and its relationship to business, to powering a business. I need one person who sees that. It's not a complicated argument. And if the people don't see it and they don't want to interview me, God bless. God bless. I don't need them. Last thing I want to do on a job interview is go there and beg for the job or try to talk someone into hiring me. No, 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 they got to see it. I'm happy to explain how my experience is relevant and could be helpful. Of course, I don't expect you to be pre sold on hiring me. And I also don't want you to expect me to come to an interview pre sold on wanting the job. Somebody asks you, why do you want the job? You say, well, I'm happy to tell you why I came to the interview. I came to learn more, as undoubtedly you did the same. You came to the interview with me to learn more. It's not appropriate for employers to say, why do you want to work here? Who said I want to work here? Right? Well, you came to the interview. Well, so did you. You weren't ready to hire me? Let's level out the scales, guys. Right? It's not employers up and they're mighty and you're nothing and you're please. No, no, not now, not in this job market, right? It was never appropriate, but especially not now. Read it, pick up a newspaper if they still exist. I know a few of them do. I see people reading them on the train, but I know it's mostly on your phone now, but yeah, come on, read a news story. It's you know, not in employers' favor. 1 million people in the United States alone died of COVID, horrible tragedy. And another 1 million people in the United States can't work because of long COVID, right? And then we have hundreds of thousands of people who also, once again, in the United States, can't work because of childcare, the childcare crisis, where there's no affordable childcare, basically. So we have a lot of people that would be in the workforce, but they're not. So employers are scrambling, even going so far as to get rid of all their degree requirements. In some cases, big companies used to require ironclad 4-year degree, can't get in here without it. Now it's like, no degree, no, it's fine. You can come out of high school, you could have been doing whatever. No, 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 we'll be happy to talk to you. Oh, really? Okay, great. Right? So feel that power. Feel that power collectively, but also feel your power in yourself. You have so much to offer employers, and I never want you to feel like you have to beg or grovel for a job. You don't. It's just the wrong employer. If they don't see what you bring, they don't deserve you. I tell job seekers and every working person, only the people who get you deserve you. Doesn't matter what you say, what you've done, you're not going to be appreciated by every single person on the planet. And neither am I, and neither is anyone. And it's fine. It doesn't matter. You don't need them all, but you just need one hiring manager to get you. And that's your search in a job search, right? That's the process, like dating. Thank you. Next, next, no, next, next, next. Not you. I love you though. Not you. Nope, nope, nope. Thank you. Oh, great. Now we have a match. Now we have some resonance. Now we have something to talk about. It's like dating, right? You don't go on a date to try to impress someone or say, I hope they like me. What? You don't even know who they are. Maybe you won't like them. Same thing on a job hunt. Someone commented the other day, I thought it was brilliant. They said, isn't the goal of an interview to get the offer? Oh, no, no, no. Imagine if you went to every interview trying saying, I'll be whoever you want me to be. I'll contort myself. I'll into pretzel shapes if necessary to get the job. What? No. You need a job. You don't need this job. You need a job, not this job. Okay. That's a good stopping place. You folks are awesome, and I hope you're back tomorrow, same time. This is 10 a.m. We start East Coast time, EDT. They call GMT minus 4 or 5, I'm not sure, but same time as today. I'll be back. We'll be talking again about how to get your dream job, and I'll be here Thursday. What's tomorrow? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, God willing. Right? COVID just stays at bay. And we're going to get into a lot more depth on some other topics past your resume. Oh, Karen, thank you for saying that. That's so sweet of you. And I hope to see you again. Colleen, thank you, Abel. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Minkyong. Thank you, Kazi. So good to see everyone. Deepa. And I will see you soon. Take care.